You have got to quit making these mistakes on eBay. Hi there, my name is Margaret. Welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. Today we are going to be talking about mistakes that are commonly made on eBay. Whether you're a new seller or an experienced seller, we all still make some of these mistakes from time to time. So it doesn't hurt to go over some of them once again. And if you feel like I've missed any, make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section because we can all learn from each other. I'm only sharing 6 here, and I know there are a lot more mistakes that new and experienced eBay sellers make. So check the comment section for even more tips. So the first mistake that a lot of sellers make is not taking really good pictures. This is something as a new seller I definitely made the mistake of frequently. I was just in the rush to get things listed and sold. I was very on fire to get my shop established, and I just wanted to make some sales. So I was just trying to get things up as quickly as possible. And I think my time might have been better spent figuring out how to take better pictures, because I think overall I would have made more sales in the long run. So it is something that I eventually became better at, but it's definitely something that is worth figuring out earlier on than I did. Basically, don't make my same mistake. Also, when you're taking your pictures, make sure you're taking pictures of all of those flaws, all the measurements. Get every single aspect, every single measurement that you can possibly get in photos, because it's going to really help your buyer feel more confident buying the item from you. And that leads into the second mistake that I frequently see, and I am guilty of it too sometimes, is I forget to put the measurements in my listing. And yes, even if you have measurements in your photos, people will still ask you what the measurements are. And please let me caution you from getting snide with your buyer and saying, check the photos in a comment back to them, because it could lose you the sale, or they could buy it and say how rude you were in their feedback. So if someone messages you and says, hey, what's the measurements? Just tell them the measurements and then go back and put it in your listing after that. But it's definitely something I have left out, and really, yeah, it annoys me to have to go back and tell somebody the measurements, but it's just part of the biz. So make sure you get those measurements in your listing too. All right, before we go on, make sure you go down there and leave that comment for one of the mistakes that you have made, or maybe commonly seen other people make, that you want to see them quit making. And if you're enjoying this type of content, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button and the bell to notify you when more videos come out about selling on eBay. The next mistake that I know I have made, and I made it a lot more frequently when I was a new seller, is to miscalculate shipping. So whether it's miscalculating the shipping in the buyer's favor, or where it bites you and you end up having to pay out of your profits for shipping, or when you're overcharging for shipping. I get it's going to happen. It still happens to me. When I overcharge for shipping, I generally refund. If it's over more than $2-3, I will usually refund the buyer the remainder of the shipping. And I know I don't have to, and I know a lot of sellers say, well, they knew what they were paying, so I'm just going to take the money. But I think overall it's going to make you a more reputable seller. It's going to make the buyer feel more comfortable buying from you again, and it's going to leave them with a more positive feeling, perhaps to give you a better feedback, knowing that you're, I don't want to say an honest seller, because it's honest, they paid, but you know that your morality as far as refunding the difference is there. But the fact that you would be willing to refund them the difference in the transaction. The next mistake that I see a lot of maybe newer sellers making, more experienced sellers may do this as well, but I think dropping your price too soon. And I get that you might be wanting to make these quick sales. You want to get those sales in. And if you're really looking for the profit on some of the items that you've got, you might just need to wait for your buyer. So you might wait a bit longer. I don't usually drop a lot of my prices. 6 months, sometimes a year before I drop a price on something, because I'm listing new things all the time. I'm waiting for that buyer. However, I will say that, different sellers have got different methods for selling. There's as many different business models for reselling as there are resellers. So if your business model is that quick flip and getting things out the door, rotating quickly, then go for it. Or if you're like, I really want to make these first sales, you're a new seller and you're just like, I really am trying to just get some feedback and some cred on eBay where people see my store, see it as a real store, totally get it. But I think that it also becomes like a habit that people fall into. If things aren't selling quickly, then they start thinking that they're failing, there's something wrong, or so you might consider, not focusing on it if that's, unless that's your strategy, not focusing so hard on it, and just, continually list new things and just keep going, keep feeding that beast. The next mistake is one I have to say I've made. Don't sell counterfeit items. And when I was an early eBayer, I knew I couldn't sell fake things. I knew I couldn't sell, like, say, Chanel. I knew I couldn't sell fake Chanel earrings and list them as authentic Chanel. But I didn't realize that I can't even say fake Chanel earrings and sell them, because that is still not okay. And I know probably a lot of you are like, duh, Margaret. But honestly, as a new seller, I didn't get that distinction. I thought, well, I'm saying they're fake, so what's the big deal? I get it now. But I'm just saying, if you're a new seller, don't make that same mistake. Next is another one that is also a personal preference, but I think, especially for new sellers, don't start, if you're going to do auctions, that is, don't start your auction below a price that you're comfortable taking. So if you're going to sell this Thor cup and you are hoping to get like $30 for it, don't start your auction at $1 and hope that it makes it up that high. Because if somebody puts in $2 and you don't have like a reserve price, then you have to sell your mug for $1 or $2, whatever they paid. And unless you cancel, and then you get, a ding on your account. Now, you can put a reserve price, but it does cost to put a reserve price. I've only done that once, and it was with my Ewok village. I wanted to get $250 or whatever it was that I wanted for it. And so I put a reserve price. If it doesn't hit this amount, then it's not going to sell. But I was willing to take that chance and then put that, reserve on it. So don't start auctions at a lower price than you're willing to sell them for. Go down there again, leave a comment of a mistake that either you have made or that you see new sellers making, so that we can all learn from each other. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here. Bye.